The following program may contain coarse language and subject matter. The following content may not necessarily reflect the views and the opinions of Radio Waterloo as a whole. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, this is Alex Tagliani, NASCAR Pinty Series driver. You're tuned in from the track to the community on 102.7 CKMS, Wide World of Motorsports, the number one motorsport show in the community.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Good afternoon. This is DJ JD coming at you for another edition of CKMS Wide World of Motorsports right here on 102.7 Radio Waterloo. And we are here with another episode today. A very weird episode, I guess you could say. We're in the studio till 2 p.m. today. And head on over to www.radiowaterloo.ca. And there you can find out all the other shows that are going on today, all the other cool content. And, of course, you can listen live through there. Or if you are living in Southern Ontario and Canada, up in the Great White North, you might be able to listen to us on Rogers Digital Cable Channel 946. Or, of course, in Kitchener-Waterloo, 102.7 on the FM dial. The episodes, of course, also on demand on YouTube. Just search us up, CKMS, Wide World of Motorsports, and also look up our social media page at CKMS WWOM, where we have lots of cool updates, memes, and a lot of conversation. I'm so happy that I'm able to actually have conversations with my followers. And as I always say, CKMS WWOM, not in it for the likes, in it for the facts. And bringing you news from the track to the community. However, I will have to give props to all of our new followers just in the last couple of weeks. Crazy amount of new people that are following CKMS WWOM just in one day. And I'll get to this a little later about Natalie Decker and her awesome performance on Friday night in the Truck Series. It was trending. I know that it was bigger than the winner, and it got me a lot of social media interactions. I'm not going to get into numbers, but it got me a lot of social, ridiculous. So thank you for all our new followers. There's too many of you to shout out, though. I'd love to shout you all out, but I, of course, always love talking to you. Drop us a line. Let us know what you think, what's going on. We want to talk to you. If you're interested in being on the show, just drop us a line in our private message box. Just private message us. Our private message box. Our inbox. Our messages thing, whatever you want to call it. If you've always wanted to be on the radio, if you have personality, confidence, some public speaking skills, and knowledge about motorsports, we are looking for weekly contributors for selected episodes for Season 3 of the CKMS Wide World of Motorsports podcast. You can call in for one more. Of course, you can come in the studio here. So we're looking for voluntary contribution. It's not a paid position. Just looking to share your passion and knowledge of the sport. I want to hear you on the show. Let's talk. Because I hate being alone and having to fill up all this time talking. But today on the show, been a pretty good week in the wide world of motorsports, I would have to say. I'll start it off, in my opinion, with the iRace on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. Even Michael Jordan designed a car for the number 23 car ran by Denny Hamlin Racing in the racing simulator. Some news coming. We'll get to the iRace a little later. Some news. Of course, President Trump. There's some news about that. Him visiting Daytona. we got also updates of the weekend at Daytona for Xfinity trucks and what so far is of the 20 laps in the Cup race. That will be at 4 p.m. today on TSN 5. You are listening to CKMS Wide World of Motorsports. Here is Dream On. Who will win the 500 tonight? Who is dreaming on? Played some goodies there without even saying. I left you guessing. Heart, Barracuda, all the way back from 1977. We had Ram Jam, the song Black Betty. And then we played a little Johnny Cash, One Piece at a Time. Feels like the last 24 hours we're just putting a little one piece at a time for this Daytona 500 race. And then Dream On. Who's going to win the Daytona 500 tonight? We'll get a little bit to that a little later on in this part of the show. Thank you for staying tuned. If you're still listening to CKMS Wide World of Motorsports, make sure you check us out on social media. Our social media page has a lot of good stuff on Facebook and Twitter at CKMSWWM. Following a lot of good content out there, being able to get you some of the best news in the wider world of motorsports. Even trying to get some drivers, trying to talk to some people. A couple weeks ago, we talked to, I asked Kenny Wallace a question, and I guess no one had actually formally asked him it about his position, the race he's going to run for the NASCAR Pinty Series first ever dirt race this summer. And he actually replied back, which is cool. Kenny Wallace, of course, the brother of Rusty Wallace, famous racing family, the Wallace family. And he usually races something called the Midgets or Sprint Modifieds or whatever. He doesn't really do NASCAR stuff much anymore, but now he's going to get back into it. So I asked him, I said, how are you feeling? Are you excited to be getting into a NASCAR car this summer on the dirt? And of course he was. He replied back to us and told us he's excited, more than excited for that. And it was actually reported on a couple of racing news websites. I guess it wasn't publicly. I don't know if it was publicly announced. Did I let the cat out of the bag? I don't know. But yeah, that was real cool. Kenny Wallace, and of course that's gonna be exciting this summer. Make sure you buy your tickets for that. It's like 100 or so days away for the NASCAR Pinty Series. I think it's less, like 90 something days away. Still got quite a ways away for the Pinty Series season. So we have, of course, the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, the trucks, and we got some ARCA stuff. And of course, we even have stuff. We have the eNASCAR, in which Canadian Keegan Leahy in the Denny Hamlin racing car. He ended up winning the race. He defeated a bunch of Americans on iRacing, a racing simulator. A lot of people on the edge about simulators. A lot of people aren't. I see a lot of our followers. Some people say they're great. Some people, they're just video games. I hear you. But this is definitely something. This is an officially sanctioned NASCAR series. So really cool to be able to see a Canadian show the Americans how we race. True North, strong and fast. And speaking of Canadians in Speed Weeks, racing Jason White. He scored a 10th place result in the truck race for, I believe it was the Rain Brothers Racing Team. And last week he finished 6th in the ARCA Racing team for Andy Hillenberg. So really cool to see Racing Jason representing Canada and actually representing Canada well in the Speed Weeks with solid performances, 2 top 10 performances. Not bad for a guy from the NASCAR Pinty Series at a plate, not plate anymore, but at a super speedway. A lot of our track, that's you could fit probably like every Pinty Series track inside of Daytona now. But nonetheless, so really cool to be able to see Racing Jason get up there and show once again the Americans how it's done, and as well as it kept going on all weekend. So Jason White had 10th, Raphael Lessard and Stuart Friesen 20th and 21st respectively, and even at one point running first and second, helping each other out and even racing each other for the lead. Cool to see a couple Canadians up there. Again, I don't know, some of their American listeners, which is like 75 to 80% of them, will probably go, oh, those Canadians. And I always love how the broadcasters always go, the Canadian Jason White, the Canadian Raphael Lessard, who I believe on Friday at the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame ceremony was awarded the Rising Star Award on the same day. Obviously, he ended up getting wrecked in a wreck there. He avoided a bit of it. Could have been a worse wreck, but he was able to, I think he was able to finish running at least, so that's cool. And it's just a great weekend. Even kept going on. Alex Labay in the Xfinity Series, he managed to get himself a solid spot with one to go for a top 5. There's a little bit of a crash at the end there. Managed to get a top 10 after that. So, oh man, I'm sorry to the American listeners, but for this Canadian here, I'm damn hella proud. But the truck race, of course, being, I think, a bit of that was overshadowed. Grant Entfinger won that on a Friday night, and went in overtime. It was his 3rd career win, but it almost seemed like it was overshadowed by Natalie Decker's finish. Her 5th place finish earned her being the best by a female driver in the truck series, and the previous record was held by Jennifer Jo Cobb, which was 6th at Daytona in 2011.
It just feels so good. We had such a good team effort and plan, and we all stuck to it, and that's what got me that good finish. And I just can't thank N29. They've been with me, I can't thank them much. They've been with me since the beginning, and the guy who sponsors me, N29, it's his birthday, so I have to wish him a happy birthday. And I'm just so thankful I got to be here with Nice Motorsports, and I'm in a Chevy now, so I'm really happy.
She did indeed sound really happy there, but nonetheless, good to see Natalie Decker. And she also ended up giving us some appreciation, social media wise. She dropped a like, and her mom did as well. So thank you very much. For the Xfinity race on Saturday, Noah Gragson, his first Xfinity Series win, and with a wreck on the backstretch, it ended Saturday's NASCAR Racing Experience 300 when Gragson was in the lead, and he was holding off the field, and he gave quite the show. The burnout at the end, it ended up rubber, I guess, kind of caught on fire. A little bit of piece of rubber as got caught on the part of the ground there or something, and it caught on fire. He ended up like warming his hands up to it like caveman style. I thought it was pretty cool though. But it was definitely quite the memorable win for Noah Gragson.
What's going on, guys? We just won here at Daytona. We're here in Gatorade Victory Lane. So thankful for everybody at Bass Pro Shops, True Timber, Black Rifle Coffee. I had a few coffees before I got out there on the racetrack today, and I was feeling a little jittery to start, but had the energy there at the end. So everybody at Xfinity, my car was as fast as Xfinity internet today, and to be able to race here at Daytona, it's a privilege and an honor, and I'm so thankful. And then to be able to win here, I can't put it into words, but everybody at Junior Motorsports, all their support and help, I'm more confident than ever. Very, very thankful. I'm ready for Vegas. Let's go get some more, baby. Woo!
He gives his coffee sponsor some props and says he was a little too jittery. Is that a good way to add your sponsor? I don't know. So that was a good race. Everyone was excited going into Sunday. Everyone was pumped. As announced, President Donald Trump was to deliver his command for the drivers to start their engines. And there was even a rumor going around he wanted to drive the Beast, his presidential limousine. It's hard to keep a straight face doing this. His presidential limousine around for a pace lap. Also, during an interview here, we're going to play with Jamie Little of Fox Sports. Donald Trump praising NASCAR for their safety things.
It really is the great American race, and I look at this as almost a patriotism kind of thing. It's incredible. The people are incredible. We love the area. We love the state, and it's a very exciting. You know, I've been here 4 times before as a civilian, and now I'm in a different capacity. We love NASCAR, and we love the people of NASCAR.
And you mentioned you have been here before, the last time, though, back in 2001. So what is it about NASCAR that you enjoy personally?
I think it's really the bravery of these people. I mean, these are very, you know, they do all the safety things and everything, but it takes great courage. It's the speed. It's really the technology. You look at what's happened just over the last 10 years with the cars. I love to see it. I love to watch it.
Okay, so inquiring minds want to know, as the president, are you allowed to drive your own car?
Well, you know I'm not, but I think I'm going to really, right now, if I can, I'm going to hop into one of these cars and I'm going to get into this race if possible.
All right, you heard it here first.
Yeah, I love the idea.
Of course, Donald Trump also was to give the starting command as well. And in a cue card, which was revealed later on in the afternoon in a picture, said, "Drivers, start your engine." Of course, Donald Trump, the great script flipper, decided to say, of course, "Gentlemen, start your engines," which of course is, for anyone in the motorsports world, if you're an Indy, F1, or sport car fan, that the custom is to say, "Drivers, start your engine." And that was before this whole Me Too woke thing. Only that, Donald Trump a little upset at Fox Sports for cutting off his speech. Did not air his speech, actually, on broadcast, but of course the 200,000 people in attendance, I guess that was good enough, I think. He, of course, lots of pictures. I think it was really cool seeing him fly in on Air Force One. He is a NASCAR fan. He's been a NASCAR fan for a while. Leaving all politics aside, for a president to visit a NASCAR race, that's historic, and that's something that's kind of unique within itself. So definitely going into the Daytona 500 with that starting off the race, I feel like everything was intense. It was setting up to be one of the most greatest Daytona 500s potentially ever, starting off the decade. And Ricky Stenhouse was showing, even though it was 20 laps before the wicked weather came in with a couple delays here and there, it ended up saying the race at 4 o'clock today. So Ricky Stenhouse showing what's good up there, led all 20 laps so far. There was a lot of racing, intense racing going on behind, and then it got into the single file train style racing. They were racing the long game. They also knew weather was coming as well. The Ford teams really working together. Stenhouse having the best car, as being a Chevrolet. The Ford teams creeping up behind him. And Joey Logano, he was leading that party with Almirola, Ryan Newman, Kevin Harvick, and Brad Kay. Ford very successful in recent seasons on super speedways. So the Toyotas, they're kind of riding in the back, playing the long race game. Not only that, maybe avoiding the big one. A lot of Toyotas still in the back. They didn't have much time to get to the front, though. Truex and the other 5 Toyota cars in the back, 31st through 36th. And the running order, 1 through 10, Stenhouse Jr., Logano, Almirola, Newman, Harvick, Keselowski, Byron, Johnson, Dillon, and Timmy Hill, showing a little bit of some strength. Really cool to see kind of some names in there that you wouldn't typically see in a NASCAR race. So today at 4 p.m., we're set up for the Daytona 500. It will be on Fox, the Fox Sports app, or TSN5 if you are living in Canada, or you can listen to on the NASCAR app or on MRN. I'm not even paid to say that. I'm just giving you the lowdown. And of course, this week, I think they're going to be leaving Daytona right after this, of course, going to go out to the desert. Las Vegas. They're going to gamble. There's going to be some gambling this weekend. We're going to see the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, and of course the Cup. It's going to be a jam-packed weekend. So make sure you stay tuned to CKMS Wide World of Motorsports on Facebook and Twitter. Check our social media pages out at CKMS WWOM. We'll have all the updates there. But for today, of course, we're going to be keeping our eye on the Daytona 500. So I'm going to try to do something, maybe look into start doing some race threads for some of the people who don't know what that is. That's just basically live chatting races. So I'd like to look into doing that for the season 3 of CKMS WWM. So join us over on Facebook and Twitter. I'll be on Twitter live tweeting the race at CKMS WWOM. Not only that, if you want to join our NASCAR Fantasy League, a link to that will be on our social media pages as well. We'll be looking to trying to get enough people on our NASCAR Fantasy League where we can talk about it weekly on air, and maybe, I think, at the end of the season, give out a prize. It'd be really cool. Make sure you check out this episode on demand on YouTube. Just look up CKMS Wide World of Motorsports. Make sure you tune in next Monday at 1 p.m. right here on www.radiowaterloo.ca. Rogers 946 in Southern Ontario, 102.7 in Kitchener-Waterloo. That is it for this edition of CKMS Wide World of Motorsports. And always remember, the only negative thing you need in your life is camber.